What happens when you let someone go energetically? Now, in this video, I will actually bust through some of the myths that keep us from letting go of a person. Because let's face it, we usually visualize if we let them go, then that means we tell God that we don't want this guy anymore. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy and all those things, which, by the way, is so not true. I'm Antia, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man method. And look, this is the channel where we magnetize your man so that the man you want, desires, and pursues you forever. Now, if you like what you hear here, of course, like, share, and subscribe for more great video trainings coming your way that helps you to attract your Mr. Right into your life. And with that, let's go ahead and dive right in. So, what happens? Let me first of all tell you what doesn't happen when you let someone go, okay? Because so the story is, and this actually, by the way, starts in childhood. So in childhood, we're saying, okay, hold on a second. So in order to maintain control and connection to a person, I need to hold on, right? Because what happens is when I let go, everything comes crushing down. Right? Like everything collapses. There's just going to be chaos everywhere. It's like this big explosion and things will be out of my control. So in order to still maintain control, I hold on. But let me tell you, this is what doesn't happen when you let go. Like what doesn't happen is that things are actually coming crashing down. Like it doesn't happen when you let go of a person. It doesn't mean all chaos breaks out. It doesn't mean that everything collapses and the world ends. However, you want to acknowledge that this happens for this young part called the inner child inside of you. So what we're going to talk about a little bit too, and what I teach my women is actually how to parent that young part inside of yourself, because for her, it feels really real, right? Like you know it's not real, but that little part inside of you, right? That anxious attachment style working model inside of you feels really real. Another thing that doesn't happen when you let someone go, that they think you're no longer interested, right? That they're like, oh, well, now I'm repelled because they're no longer interested, so I'm no longer interested in them. Now, this also doesn't make any sense because you actually hand men over the freedom to choose, right? In general, person. We're talking here, of course, since I help you to attract the right man for you into your life, right? We're talking for you particularly as a woman, right? And so that's also what doesn't happen. So let me tell you a little bit what happens when you let someone go energetically. Because let me tell you a story. So in 2009, I was attracted and sort of really attached to this guy who, by the way, I had never met. I actually met him, quote unquote, on spiritual singles. And, you know, we quote unquote hit it off right away, whatever you want to make that mean. And, you know, he was like in the teaching field and, you know, he had this way of expressing himself. It was like really eloquent, right? And I'm such a word nut. I just like love when a man can use language, right? It's just wow. And really talks and images and all those things. And of course, he was also easy on the eyes. Okay. So, but the thing was, at some point, I didn't hear from him anymore, right? And so I had to let him go. Why did I have to let him go? Because I actually went through a phase where I started to become really like entering like a dark place, right? Where I started to become depressed because I was like, you know, remember, I was experiencing internally what an inner child experiences, the level of abandonment, the level of rejection, the level of insecurity, the level of fear and panic and terror inside of my nervous system, right? So I needed to let go of him. Now, when I let go of him, which is really interesting, what happened is trust developed. Something inside of me, right? Like God actually told me, oh, great, now you actually trust me. Because another thing that the little child inside of you doesn't do, it doesn't trust, right? She has actually lost trust to the adults around her, right? Because they have let her down many times. They have disappointed her many times. So she has lost complete trust. So when you let someone go, you're actually reestablishing that trust in your nervous system, right? You're actually saying, I can't trust God to help me to bring the right person into my life, right? I can trust God to take care of me, right? I can trust God to support me. I can trust God for wisdom, for insight, for guidance. So that's what happens, because what you really do, you're not letting go of someone, you're letting go of the attachment of someone. So I'm going to say that again. You're not letting go of someone, you're letting go of the attachment of someone. So another thing I want you to do, I want you to flip it right now. So imagine someone is attached to you. And you kind of feel like, ooh, it's like, I don't know, what do they want from me? Why are they getting so attached? Because don't they trust? So let's say, tomorrow's Christmas, right? But you get attached that tomorrow's Christmas. That means you don't trust that tomorrow is Christmas. Does that make sense? Because when tomorrow is Christmas, it's just a fact. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? I prepare for Christmas. I may even anticipate Christmas, but I'm not going to get scared. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I gotta, Because the reason why we get attached, because it's almost like a part inside of us knows that we are already unconsciously rehearsing how this is not going to happen, how the man is going to reject us, how he's not going to be interested in us, or how he's going to go back to his ex, or how he's going to change his mind, whatever, right? So when you don't let go, you're actually rehearsing what you don't want to happen. And a great example here, I don't know if you ever watched the movie He's Just Not That Into You, the character Gigi, she doesn't trust, right? Like, she is just like, no. I already know he's not going to call me, so I'm going to check a million times. And it's counterintuitive, because you're like, wait a minute, Antia, why would I check my phone? Why would I look at my screen and see if somebody texted me if I don't even expect them to text me, right? And that's where the little girl comes in, because the more she feels she can't have something, the more she feels she needs to have it. I'm going to say that again. The more she feels like she can't have something, the more she feels she needs to have it. And this is, of course, coming from having an emotionally unavailable parent. That's this like crazy making model inside of yourself. But what happens when you let someone go, and that's why I want you to imagine yourself. When someone lets you go, you're like, oh, I have choice. I have freedom. The other person trusts. And also, when the other person lets go of the attachment of you, they no longer make you sort of the source of the outcome. So let's say they think, you are the symbol for their happiness, or you are their symbol for growth, or you are their symbol for love, or you are the symbol for fill in the blank, right? For, like, remember, I love how this guy talked and how intelligent he was, right? So this was sort of my symbol for like sophistication and all the things. You are my symbol for admiration. You are my symbol for feeling cherished. So all of that is like such a weight to carry. Do you want to carry that weight? No, because you're saying, wait a minute, I hope you're getting your sources from somewhere else, because otherwise you're basically telling me you're coming from a place of scarcity, while I come from a place of love and from abundance. But when somebody comes from a place of abundance and then they choose you, then it's very attractive because they don't need you. So when you let someone go energetically, you tell them, I don't need you. And you put yourself into a place where you choose them. And that's where they actually trust you. Now, the other thing that also happens, right, is like I always say, like when you let someone go, you actually see if they come back to you. If they come back to me, it's meant to be, right? It's a good way of saying, well, if it's meant to be, they come back to me. And so this is really true, because you actually see, wait, is this actually supported? Does God actually want me to be together with this person? So when you let go, you actually say, is this meant to be? When you actually totally surrender, when you quote unquote give up, You're not really giving up in that sense, right? You're not putting your head in the sand. What you're saying is, I'm giving up the control because I actually don't have all the answers, right? I hand this control over to you, God, okay? And then God is going to do what he thinks is best for you, what makes you the happiest, actually, right? Long term, because the thing is, like, we just always see immediate consequences, but God sees secondary consequences, tertiary consequences, and lifetime consequences, even moving into other generations that we could never see. So it's really attractive, right? Because it's almost like saying, what would love do? Not like what would you do, what would your partner do, or the man that you desire to have, but what would love do, right? Like, what would God do? And the cool thing is, when you actually let go and you let God actually bring the man into your life that you're meant to have, it's going to work out. You're always going to have the support. Because let's face it, when you attract the right man for you, and I know you may not be able to see it right now because all you want is getting to a second date. I get it. All you want is for a man to actually consistently text you and show up. All you want is for a man to respect you. I get it. But once you get past this point and you actually enter a relationship, right? Like, you will actually also encounter moments of friction. You will encounter challenges. You will encounter hardships. We all do, right? Because for that we grow. So you better know that God is on your side because you acted from a place of alignment and what I call queen integrity, right? You actually with the right person that you're meant to be with. And so with that, you can actually climb mountains. So this is something that you want to look at. This is what happens when you let go of someone. And lastly, when I let go, right? When I let go of, like, I need to attract this guy and this is how it needs to happen. This is the timeline. 10 days later, I met my husband, Brody, and he told me the first night we met that I'm the girl of his story. So this is what happens when you truly let go of someone energetically. Now, if you would like to discover how to become a multiple six-figure love coach and how you can as well, click on the link in the description or comment below. You can also go to icoachlove.com. And if you haven't done so already, highly recommend watch next. When a man deeply loves you, he will start saying these 5 things. Ladies, lots of love to you. Leave your questions in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.